Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup, Locked Down, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 4. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group at Love After Lockup, Locked Down, or on Instagram at LALU Locked Down. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa. So I have a question for you because I was watching a lot of YouTube and I just want to know the answer to this and I want to see if it matches up to mine or if you agree and you forgot about this particular item I'm about to talk about. What is the worst candy bar?
Oh, the worst?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was called. I had one that was like white chocolate covered nougat.
That sounds disgusting.
Wait, is it a zero bar maybe?
Probably a zero. It sounds like it.
I had it and it was
Chocolate is disgusting.
I don't mind white chocolate in certain things, but as a whole candy bar, like I like the Hershey's cookies and cream, which I think is white chocolate.
Yeah, that one's good. And there's also from the Benoid, they have that THC induced cookies and cream chocolate bar, which is really good too. So it's pretty much just like the Hershey's bar, but with a little something in it.
A little something.
I'm it for me. It is hands down Butterfinger. If I never had to eat a Butterfinger in my life again, I would be ecstatic. And I don't know how much. I guess I would need $5 in order to eat one, which says a lot when it comes to just eating a candy bar. I don't want it unless you're giving me $5.
I love Butterfinger. I think it's pretty good.
I I can't stand the texture on the inside. It makes me feel weird. I don't like it. It's
That makes
gross.
sense. Yeah.
I'm not a huge peanut butter fan to begin with. I mean, I definitely can eat peanut butter and do eat peanut butter, but I'm never like, "Oh, I really love." I don't want peanut butter ice cream. I don't want a Reese's cup. I don't want a peanut butter sandwich.
I don't know about you, but when it's this hot out, I don't want chocolate in general. I don't know if that's just because it's always so melty, in the heat, but it's so
Yeah,
thick.
think about this. Do you want an ice cream too? It's like, oh, it's a hot day. I'm gonna go have ice cream. Okay, as it melts all over you and it's so not refreshing.
Yeah. Little kids are always covered in all that sticky mess.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did your mom lick your ice cream cone when you were a kid to clean it if it was leaking down your hands? Ugh, I remember that vividly.
I used to do that for my kids, so yeah.
Yeah, I used to take a napkin and wipe it off. I would never lick, I was traumatized by that. I would never lick their ice cream cone.
Oh yeah, I licked my kids' ice cream cones, and it was better than there being like the sticky mess. And then when they got the ice cream on their hands, they always wanted to touch stuff. So then they had like fuzz on their sticky
Ugh.
fingers, and I couldn't stand it. It was so, yeah.
Yeah, kids are disgusting.
So this week we're covering season 2, episode 4, Washing Off Prison. And we start with Matt and Caitlin, and he says he usually gets out and starts using, which is a solid life plan.
And I would expect it from him. I don't know. I just look at him and I'm going, I don't. I shouldn't be judgy, but I'm judgy with him. He just doesn't. He doesn't look like he's gonna be on the straight and narrow just by visual appearance.
He seems like the calm one between the two, and that's saying something.
Well, she was a little more realistic this time around. I was a little shocked. I was like, whoa, 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 hold on a second. And we'll get into that a little bit. But uh Caitlin said they're gonna get lost in the woods and have some sex.
Yeah, she's taken him to a nice cabin.
Mhm. Yeah, he wants body wash. Mimi said that a bar of soap in prison is 79 cents. That's a deal, kind of. That's a deal.
It's not bad. I mean, at Dollar Tree, they're $1.25, so
You got it.
they decide that they can't wait to get to the cabin. So they're going to pull over on the side of the road, literally, and have sex right there.
Yeah. Did they get out of the car and they actually do have sex in the woods? And I honestly thought they were joking. And then I was like, this poor camera guy. That's all I could think of is this camera guy. I didn't sign up for this.
I didn't feel bad for him at all. The way he was getting in there at those angles, and there's footage that they
Oh,
didn't air. And I just personally, I saw and heard way more than I consented to.
it was so uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all.
It
At
was
all.
so uncomfortable.
These two have been uncomfortable the entire time they've been together. It's just been gross. Sorry. It's just been gross.
She said it was the best sex of her life.
Yeah, because it's with her soulmate. Okay, Caitlin. Matt said he did good.
I mean, it makes a difference. I'll give you that if you are with somebody you care about. But
Yeah, but does she? It's just infatuation. You don't really know this person. It's just puppy love infatuation. Everyone's gonna say that. Um,
we've heard that quite a few times, right? The best
mhm.
sex of my life.
Yes, many times. Yeah, he just has to prove to her that she's made the right decision, I guess, with sex. I mean, that seems feasible.
People have different standards.
Hmm.
Next up, Tracie and Clint. He says he's nervous but excited.
He says he feels like he's known her forever, and I this whole thing made me laugh. I'm sorry. He says if Tracy looks different from her pictures because in jail, he says it ages you.
I would imagine it would, though. I mean, I would think that would be a rough life. You'd always have to kind of be on guard and
Yeah, but he was like, "I'll be a little disappointed," and I'm like, "You said you love her no matter what," but yet he's kind of contradicting himself. He's like, "She's the most beautiful woman in the world, and I love her so much," but like big buts all
yeah.
the way through this.
He says they have an open, honest, and trusting relationship. And that's something else that we've heard a lot of.
Yeah, and I don't even understand how you come to that conclusion with something like this. Eh, he's yelling at the prison, "Tracy, I love you." And I'm just like eye rolling the whole time because this is just so uncomfortable.
It was. And his mom, Alice, calls to check on him. And that was it really was a sad conversation. I could feel how scared she was for him, how concerned she was. So that was a hard
Yeah,
conversation to listen to.
but it's a little bit like, okay, your son is a full-blown adult and he's been an adult for a long time and this is his third rodeo. So she gotta let go a little bit.
You're still allowed to worry about your kids and wish that they would improve their lives, see the light if maybe they weren't doing great, because people can change.
Yeah. So he's been waiting for her for 2 hours and no Tracy. And then she comes out running.
Yeah.
They all come running, right?
Yeah, she's running out of the prison and jumps right into his arms.
And she looks shocked, honestly. To me, this is what I wrote. Like she looks shocked that he's actually there. She looks into traffic and she like looks like she's like, oh gosh, he's really here. And she runs to him, like you said, and jumps on him. Did you catch that? Did she look like shocked to to you? Like surprised a little bit?
I wouldn't be surprised if she was, but I didn't catch that.
And she says he's so much cuter than his pictures, and I'm like, really? Because to me, he looks exactly like the picture.
Maybe because it was in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I've said that myself. People do actually look different in person, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But you didn't catch this, but me and Dave did, that he basically calls her fat. And she says, "Oh yeah, I've gained or something like that." And he started cracking up, and he like almost spit out his drink because he calls her fat. He's like,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
totally missed
you're
it.
bigger," or something like that. He's like literally called her fat to her face, and then she makes an excuse as to why she's fat.
Wow,
Yep.
that's not cool, Clint.
Mm-mm.
They talk prison makeup briefly, and we find out that she has been in and out of prison for the past 6.5 years.
Yeah, her eyeliner is pencil, and her eye makeup is coffee and toothpaste.
Yeah.
That's
She's
resourceful.
It is resourceful. It's creative, the things that prisoners can come up with to get through, daily living that I think a lot of people probably take for granted. She says she typically violates, so this is going to be a challenge for her to see how she does.
Yeah. They talked about a baby in 2 years, which I was like, oh God, please don't.
He says he thought that she was catfishing him, which would
Mm-hmm.
make sense.
Yeah,
I can see.
yeah, well, I heard him say that before, but like I don't know about you, but I didn't think she was as attractive as he was saying she was. How'd you feel about that?
I don't personally find her attractive, but to each their own. There's a lot of people who are considered attractive that I don't understand in the slightest. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, her teeth were like also like vibrant yellow. I was like, oh gosh. It's like I hope that that's just from like lack of brushing, and then that's gonna get better.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that her drug use contributed to her
Probably.
oral health.
And Sigs.
Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. She says, it feels like a dream.
Hmm. Yeah, and they're gonna valet, and she's very concerned. She's like, I'm gonna valet in these clothes. She's like, we can't just hit a parking garage. She's like super anxious about how she looks and this with this fancy hotel and stuff.
Right. She's embarrassed to be walking in, which probably, I mean, even if people notice you, like, it's not like you're keeping those clothes on for the entirety of your trip there, but I could totally understand why that would be nerve wracking.
She's kind of like the who was Mary's guy? Why can't I think of his name? Dominic. She's kind of like the milder Dominic of the women so far because she seems kind of the most traumatized. She's acting like not okay. Like she needs more than Marcelino is going to be able to give her as far as like the mental aspect of it is.
You think so? I think she feels
Yeah.
very in touch with herself. Uh,
Hmm.
you're probably right.
I don't know. I caught some stuff that just felt like, she didn't feel comfortable out in the world is what caught me. She didn't feel comfortable. She was just nervous about everything and like how she looked and how she was perceived.
I think if I had been on my own since 12 years old, I would feel the same way. 12,
Mhm.
it's such a little kid to be taking care of yourself. It's so young. Marcelino says he's been celibate for a year and a half, but he just said, like, last episode that he was celibate for a year. So I don't know which one it is. What is this math?
it's 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 the it's the math we've been going through this entire series that nothing matches up. Okay, so she wants to wash the prison off of their body, and she gets to the room, and he has rose petals all over the room and the bed, and he gives her this dress that she doesn't seem to like, and he's like, because you're my pinup doll, I got you this pinup dress," and she's like, "Yeah, I'll do the shopping."
Oh, did you see that dress?
Yeah.
That was not right. It was. not the right dress for her. I don't like the color at all. Like lime green.
Yeah, they have a different vision in their head than women do. I would never let my I would never. It sounds like my worst nightmare to have Dave go buy me an outfit. Could you imagine if Joel went and bought you an outfit? What would he
No,
come back with? It would be the wrong size, first of all. It would be the total wrong size because women just don't wear a size this. It's in women's clothing, it never is the same brand to brand. It's different. It's not like men's clothes.
it depends where you shop.
Yep.
They seem to really care about each other, though. Like every episode, I feel like that's a note that I make. Like either he seems to really support her, or they seem really connected.
Yeah. And he gives her a really sweet gift because when she was young, she loved to collect quarters. And her parents, who were alcoholics, stole all of her quarters so that they could buy alcohol. And Marcelino gives her a book with a bunch of quarters in it. And I'm assuming he's been saving those quarters for, I don't know if they're like different states or whatever the rhyme or reason was in them. But I thought that was very thoughtful and very sweet.
It really was. It's like taking the time to listen to somebody when they talk. You know what I mean? It shows that you're paying attention.
Um, it, it's been 2.5 years since she's had sex with a man, and he talked about this. So she is bisexual, and he did talk about that and his concerns with that.
But he says she requires the sex only a man can give.
And I feel like that's exactly what would say. For sure. They're in the bathroom and it's really weird and it's really noisy and I guess they're having a competition to see who can give oral sex first, which had to be a weird scene and I'm glad we didn't see it.
I am so glad we didn't see it, A, and B, I didn't need to know that either. Like that's all you guys.
That's gross. It's just about as gross as what just happened with Caitlin and Matt. Only thank God we didn't see it.
My, my last note on this scene was I believe you when you say you had sex. I don't need to hear it.
Exactly.
Next up, Megan, Michael, and Sarah, and Megan wakes up at home in Texas.
Yeah, today is his release date, and she's at her parents' house. And she talked to Mike that night or the night before, and she just has to figure out why he doesn't want her to come. We know.
We do know, but he told her that he had a surprise for her and that he needed to settle some things before they got together. And she says, hey, that he's hurt her and they are going to have to heal from that together.
Yeah, all three of them are gonna have to heal together. So Sarah is waiting for Michael at his release, and she's crying.
She says again that he's been unfaithful.
Uh-huh.
You think he's been unfaithful as many times as she's brought it up?
More, probably more. And as we now know, probably a lot of times that she just has no idea about, just like this one.
Yeah.
Megan's brother's talking to her about Michael, and she said he just wants to surprise me, and I'm like, oh boy, does he ever. He's going to surprise you.
I feel bad for her brother. I mean, can you imagine watching your sibling or just somebody you care about make a terrible decision and there's nothing you can do to talk him out of it?
Hmm.
I'm sure we've all been there. I mean, we all make terrible decisions that nobody can talk us out of, but
Yeah, at a certain point you just kind of have to be like, this is their life and I'm just gonna let it go.
yeah, just be there to clean up the mess.
Hmm.
Next, we're back to Clint and Tracy, and they're getting her hair done, and it comes up to $280. That seems like a steep ask when you've just walked out of prison to be like, also, I need you to give me $300 to get my hair done. And I don't feel like at any point he was portraying himself to have a lot of money. You know what I mean? I don't think that was.
I don't think so either, but I don't feel like this is where she's going with this. I don't feel like this is a Scott and Lizzie type of thing. It's just like she's out of prison and she clearly has nothing to her name. Nothing at all. No clothes, no underwear, no bras, no makeup, no nothing. And so I mean, and obviously she was a blonde and she's got some massive black roots and that's expensive. We all know that it's very expensive if you were to go get your hair stripped to start all over. And it actually winds up being 300 and that's without a tip. And it's because it's just going to be a long process and it's going to take a while and be hard.
It's not that it's not worth getting or paying that much. It's
Yeah.
just that's a lot to expect out of somebody who works as a hotel desk clerk
Yeah.
who just took a
I just
trip
don't
to pick
yeah.
you up.
Yeah, but maybe I want to say it didn't seem like they talked about it right then and there and they just decided. It felt like this was talked about beforehand, that this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to get your hair done because it didn't seem like a whim.
That
Hmm.
that could be because he says there's nothing he won't do for her or give to her.
Hmm.
So if she had said something about wanting to get her hair done, then he would have.
Hmm. Yeah, and this is just the case of a man not understanding how much it is to get a woman's hair done, especially dyed. So
Yeah.
she tells the lady again, and we love this. I just got out of prison, and the lady's just like, okay.
Congratulations.
Hmm.
She gave him a shopping list to go get things for her. Nothing on it seemed too outrageous when he was reading them off, though.
Well, the one thing that we didn't talk about was that they were like, "Oh, do you want anything to drink?" And she's like, "You ain't got no liquor, do you?" And I was like, "Come on, man."
Just what you need.
Class it up, you're getting a $300 dye job. But yeah, she does like, she's a little bit specific with the body wash, but I know what body wash she's talking about and it's cheap. It's $2.99. It's the pomegranate mango body wash. I think it's by Soft Soap. So I use it.
His spending limit for the entire trip is $1,000, and he says on day one he's hit 900 of that, and they haven't even eaten yet.
Did you catch when she said selfless tanning lotion and she meant sunless tanning lotion?
No,
He's like, selfless tanning lotion.
she said she's lived the fast life, but it's time to grow up.
And she did tell that lady that it was when she said she was passing bad checks in previous episodes, well, it was fraudulent payroll checks. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? What does that mean? I kind of wanted to Google it now that I'm going to do fraudulent payroll checks, but I just really want to know, did she work for them and she was just giving herself paychecks? I don't know.
It's hard to say. Next, we're back to Brittany and Marcelino, and she's doing some self care.
But yeah, she said she hasn't looked in a real mirror in a while. I guess that they just don't have regular mirrors in prison, and you have to improvise.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. They're real small.
Yeah, he asked her to go out on a real date with him, and so then they go out to dinner, and it looks kind of fancy. But I think they're at a casino hotel.
He says he's going to erase the horrors of her life. That's a
Hmm.
big job.
Yeah. And we do find out that she originally she posted ads online because she wanted friends to come home to, not necessarily a boyfriend or a fiance or a husband. So she was corresponding with other people, but then she found Marcelino and she decided to start an actual relationship with him.
Right, right. He asks her at dinner where they should be in 5 years, and she seems to, I don't want to say panic, but she got a little worked up. I could see why this would cause anxiety for somebody in her situation who's had to do day by day, survive day by day for so long. Trying to look ahead 5 years would be overwhelming.
Yeah, and they're also not everyone in this show is like, yeah, as soon as I get out, I want to start my life with you. I want to jump into everything and just get married and start a whole future together. Not everyone is like that. Some people want to breathe after they get out and just think about where they want to go and what they want to do.
She says she doesn't want to live up to society's standard, which is fair. You
Mhm.
don't have to take on the traditional role.
She says expectations lead to disappointments. She just wants a life that makes her happy, but she doesn't know what that is yet. She's got to figure it out. That to me, that's what that means.
He tells her to be quiet and listen. And I was like, "Excuse me, Marcelino. Who are you talking to?"
Yeah, he's older than her, and I feel like he all of a sudden took a turn, and now we're kind of seeing why Marcelino may have gone in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a side of him we didn't know existed, and he's kind of his former military training is maybe coming out or whatever. Um, And she says, "You're not going to talk to me like that." And the amount of times I've said that in my life, I know exactly what she was feeling at that moment.
She says he's aggressive and dominating, which at that point, or I'm sorry, she says he's aggressive, and at that point, I agree. And he says that she needs to respect his age. And I was like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, I was like, see, and that's the thing. He's in a position where he's going to treat her like she's a child because she's younger than him.
Yeah.
And he actually takes away her food, which I got really mad there because stuff like that has happened to me in my past, and I that's so dominating and ridiculous. I'm not a child, you know?
I didn't see that. Wow.
Yes. She's like, I wasn't done with that. He took her plate away from her. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets frustrated, understandably, and goes back to the hotel room.
hmm And in her mind, she's like, "Holy crap, what have I done here?" It's like, what have I gotten myself into?
It's got to be scary on both parts, because on the prisoner's part, they're coming out and they're relying on that person to help them because they don't, not everybody has a safety net. But on the other hand, people who hook up with the prisoners are also hoping that they don't get played. You know what I mean? Like it's an emotional time for everybody involved.
Right. We have this little excerpt before the commercial or between the after the commercial between the next scene where Clint is buying Tracy lingerie for $342.
$342. And that goes, like he said, he had already spent 900, and here we go with 342. So now he's over. Still haven't eaten yet. And why do you need lingerie for $342? Like, if you can't afford that.
Well, then in this is where Dave was watching this with me and we were having a discussion and he goes, "Well, that's not lingerie, that's bras and underwear." He goes, "But if you're in a shop like that, that can get really expensive." He's like, "Bras can be really expensive." I said, "Never buy me a bra, please, because you won't get it right." Could you imagine? Another thing, don't buy women clothes and don't try to buy them lingerie. You won't get the size right. Just don't. Don't do it.
They do a big reveal of her new look, and he said he can't imagine her looking any more beautiful.
She does look better. I'm gonna say that. She does look better, but she kind of looks like she's about to walk the street. That she's like he's like my goddess, and she's like, I barely fit in this dress. And I'm thinking the whole time about her sitting at a restaurant and the dress splitting. I could see her whole bra.
It was so bad. And it's not her fault. Like, this one wasn't her fault. This was totally on him. He picked out the dress that didn't fit. So you're 0 for 2, buddy. But he unsurprisingly loved her new look.
She just looks not like, I mean, literally, if he took her out in that, and I'm guessing he's going to, he looks like he bought a hooker. I'm sorry.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Matt and Caitlin are next, and he says it was a great night. This is after they've woken up in the cabin, I believe.
Yeah. He said he woke up and he realized he wasn't in prison. And I felt that at that moment. I'm like, that's how that, like, I've been not been in prison or jail, but I've been other places and I feel that. I know what that feeling is like.
She said he filled her up with babies.
These two, stop being gross. I'm sorry. Stop being gross.
The thing is, like, I don't know, but you just said that on national TV. It doesn't bother everybody. That's fine.
Oh gosh. He said normally by now he'd be getting high again and he wants to get married and she's not ready. And I was a little taken back by that because I was like, whoa, I thought you were. And now all of a sudden she's like, no, I'm not ready to get married. I was a little surprised.
Well, she was afraid that he was going to go back to prison, and she didn't want to be a prison wife.
Mm-hmm. And that makes a lot of sense. I'd be really considering that. But I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, oh, this whole time Caitlin's been like this mess and like not realistic about anything. And all of a sudden she's like, whoa, whoa, if we get married and you go back to prison, I'm a prison wife. I'm like, where'd this Caitlin come from?
All you had to do was wait 30 seconds until they're out on a walk, and then he gets down on one knee to propose with a flower, and she goes, "Oh, yes. Wait, what?" Like, I
Yeah.
blink. You're going from, no, I'm not getting married because I don't want to be a prison wife. I blink, and here you are engaged.
Yeah, I actually thought that was really sweet and not expected from him at all. But I was like that I it kind of teared up a little bit. I actually thought that was really cute.
Oh, my
Thought it was
goodness.
really I did. I thought it was really genuine and cute.
She says money's tight and he needs to work, but he wants to take some time off and kind of just figure himself out.
He also says have a little fun and we're like, Matt, what does that mean for
I
you?
don't, yeah, you've had your fun.
Yeah, your whole life's been a lot of fun.
Megan, Michael, and Sarah are next to. She's excited. Who is she? Oh, Sarah's excited to not be a single parent anymore, and she starts crying again.
Yeah, she's got her queen shirt on like they planned.
He says she kept him sane and focused.
He says raising my daughter through the phone has been difficult. How are you raising? You didn't raise your. Come on, man. I hate when basically deadbeat dads are saying shit like this. You did not help. You didn't help her.
You didn't
You
help
didn't
at
help her.
all.
Stop it. Stop it.
Right.
Stop saying that. And this poor girl who's falling for all this crap is probably like, yeah, he's been a great dad, and I think she has said that. I'm like, come on.
And he, of course, tells her that he loves her.
Hmm. Yeah, he's got his king shirt on as he's walking out of the jail and she's crying and I'm like, "Oh man, this is nauseating."
I don't even feel like he loves her in his own way. I just feel like he doesn't care about her as like a person.
I don't know. I feel like at this point he just knows this is where he's going to live.
Yeah, he did go to prison, adult prison at 15, and that's got to be
Yeah.
something.
I
Like
I didn't
it's,
know that. Mhm. Yeah. They just sentenced him as an adult right out of the gates. They didn't even give him the chance to go to juvenile.
yeah. And he says, this is where he says Sarah is a queen, but Megan is his queen.
Oh my gosh. He did say that his crimes were committed because he was trying to provide for his mom and his sister. I feel like you could have gone to McDonald's and done that too, because after you went to prison, who was providing for them? I'm sure they did fine.
Megan is still waiting for him to call, and she's been checking in to see that he has been released, and no word from him at all.
Yeah, and I just wrote Megan is mad.
She says, unless he is on his way to her house, he's going to have to earn her trust back.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens next time, but I'm going to say that's not going to be the case. He's not on his way.
I feel like things are getting ready to pop off, though. Like things are heating up. People are
Hmm.
making some
I can't wait.
very poor decisions.
Yeah, this season's completely different from the last season. They're like, yeah, we need to step this up a notch, and they definitely did.
Who's your VIP this week?
Okay. I am going to go with the hair salon lady because she just looked terrified the entire time and she was trying to hold it together and she's just like what is freaking happening here the entire and imagine how awkward that would be. And then she literally put on full makeup, a hooker dress, and got blonde hair, and it's is all in that salon, and they're filming, and you know that they that was pre-planned, but it was just like so freaking awkward. And I was like, this lady.
I mean, they have to go in the TV station or whatever. People would have to go in ahead of time and get permission to film there and paperwork signed so they know it's all going down.
Yeah.
My BIP this week goes to Clint for his sound financial decisions.
Well, at least it wasn't $12,000 worth of phone calls and $90,000 worth of drugs. So we'll leave it at that.
I should put them up on the whiteboard Hall of Fame. We should start a whiteboard Hall of Fame. Scott for the 90,000.
Well, maybe we should do that when we decide to do the Instagram live. We'll
That
do
would
the
be fun.
whiteboard. Yeah.
Well, stay tuned because things are heating up. So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, one rose from a gas station. She said, oh babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.